What's going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Vikings are 2 weeks into training camp, and we got our first preseason game on Thursday, against the slippery Seattle Seahawks. And there's a handful of training camp battles that we wanted to highlight where they're not the traditional, two guys enter, one guy leaves. Showdown at the OK Corral type camp battles where it's, two, three dudes for one job. There's a lot of competition at some of the more rotational spots. But either way, there's some intriguing jockeying going on the depth chart, and we want to highlight a couple of these battles, as well as who currently has the advantage. So first up, quarterback two, you got the veteran Nick Mullins, who is only 28 years young, as well as rookie fifth-round pick Jaron Hall. Now, I did say advantage Mullins, because even though Jaron Hall has had himself some really nice throws and some nice moments, I don't think the Mullins has done anything to necessarily lose the job, and he's put up some highlight reel stuff himself, working with the second team wide receivers. And Mullins is in that sort of Chase Henne, solid veteran backup quarterback. Even though, like I said, he is only 28, slightly older than Jaron Hall, and I think that maybe there could be some separation in preseason. Jaron Hall, takes a little Dorian Thompson-Robinson DTR and shows up and shows out, playing against threes in preseason. It's certainly possible, but right now, obviously I think they're keeping both, probably on the 53, and advantage Mullen right now. Next up, running back two. So behind Alexander Madison, who's going to get the lion's share of the work? Ty Chandler, rookie seventh-round pick Dwayne McBride, as well as King Kenneth and Wangu. Right now, advantage Chan Bryan. There you go. So Ty Chandler has put in some work. He's put on a show. I mean, speedster, has got receiving skills. McBride has gotten some early down work, but also they're trying to showcase him more as a receiver, as well as working on his pass blocking. Kenny has been dinged up, missed the bulk of last week, so he's starting to fall behind the eight ball a little bit. And I do think right now that if it's a three-headed monster, I think it would be Madison, Chandler, and McBride toting the rock for the Vikings. Wide receivers 4 through 6. So we did up a separate video on the Vikings wide receiver competition because, everyone's in on it. The Vikings wide receiver room is deep, and I don't think it's playable. Actually, they're all playable. But I think right now, beyond the win-play show of Jefferson, KJ, and Addison, I think that it is Prohl, Rager, Powell, and Jalen Naylor having those advantages there. Offensive line depth. So the Vikings' offensive line is pretty much set. So you got Darisaw, Ezra, Bradbury, Ed Ingram, Brian O'Neill, and I basically just list Oli Udoh as an extra starter. He's taken up the bulk of the first team right tackle reps with O'Neill out, and actually played pretty well after O'Neill popped his Achilles last year. And veterans-wise, you got Brandel, you got Schlutman, you got Chris Reed on the NFI. Vidarian Lowe got injured, so just looking for the versatile stability on the offensive line. I think it is going to be Schlutman, Brandel, and the rest in there too. Defensive line, everyone. Everyone is going to be in there because it's going to be a heavy rotation. So the starters initially were Harrison Phillips, Kyrus Tonga at the nose, as well as Dean Lowry working his way in there. When the Vikings had 3 down linemen, sometimes they had 2, sometimes they had 4, and it is going to be a rotation up front for Brian Flores and company. But I do think that Jaquelin Roy has impressed a lot. I think that he's done great on one-on-ones. He's been sprinkled in with the first team. I think that he'll do great in preseason. Kyrus Tonga, I think, has a chance to really secure the starting nose tackle spot, as well as Asazio Tomo has certainly flashed at times, and I think that he'll work his way in both as a 4-tech, 5-tech, as well as a little bit of edge rushing as well. And then speaking of which, so edge rusher 2, besides Daniil Hunter, who's going to be the other guy who rushes the passer off the edge? Now, you got the free agent Marcus Davenport, you got DJ Wanham, you got Patrick Jones the second, all getting theirs, as well as rookie UDFA Andre Carter back in the mix. Luigi Villain is also sprinkled in there too, but I would actually say advantage is DJ Wanham right now. And you forget, DJ Wanham had 8 sacks back in 2021. He's very adept at being a stand-up outside linebacker. It's what he played a lot of at South Carolina. He's in a contract year as well. And he's been getting all these reps as Davenport's been basically held out of practice this last week. So I think advantage DJ Wanham, even though obviously it's going to be a rotation and they're going to use everyone. They're going to use everyone, man. A linebacker 3, Ivan Pace Jr., it's done. It's a wrap. It is. Where it's Asamoah, it's Hicks, it's Ivan Pace Jr. They put in Troy Dye and Reeder and Kwenku a little bit as well, but the future is Asamoah. The future is Ivan Pace Jr. And pretty excited about getting that going long term. And then Ooh, that's offense. Nailed it. Then cornerback 3. So you got Blackman, Jawan Williams, as well as Andrew Booth Jr. And right now it's Caleb Evans and Byron Murphy Jr. are your starters. And Mekhi Blackman has been rotating quite a bit. Jawan Williams started out camp running with the ones. Andrew Booth Jr., they got him some first team reps before he left with an injury. Hopefully he'll be able to return soon, as well as rookie UDFA Jalen Williams has been with the second team in the slot. Now, I think advantage is going to be Blackman, where even though Booth is a higher draft pick and also is a Kwesi draft pick from last year, and Jawan is familiar with the concepts of what Flores is bringing, given his years with the Patriots, even though they didn't have any crossover. I just think Blackman's good, man. Inside, outside ability, and also the ability to stay on the field versus Andrew Booth. I think that there will be an advantage there. So I think Blackman is very much a favorite to be your starting cornerback opposite of Caleb Evans and Byron Murphy week 1. The kicking competition now. So Joseph Gregg and Jack Bud Lesney of Georgia, and I think it's slight advantage Greg Joseph right now, the veteran, but I mean, Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi, they're not afraid to shake things up, as evidenced by Ryan Wright over the veteran Jordan Berry last year. And if it comes down to it, the Vikings could save around $1.6 million in cap space by moving on from Joseph. And Joseph was in his head at times last year, shanking a number of easily made kicks as well as a bunch of extra points. He did come up nails at times, including that 61-yarder against the Giants, but need more consistency out there, and we'll see what the kid can do in preseason. And then the 2 return spots. So kick returner, even though the kick return is being phased out of the game, King Kene, Brandon Powell, as well as Jalen Rager. Now, Kene has been dinged up with injury, but he's still the best kick returner in the game. And he should have been back-to-back first-team All-Pro, but that's an argument for another day. And if he's able to get on the field, he's going to be the guy. Yeah. And then punt returner 1, you got Brandon Powell, Jalen Rager, Thayer Thomas, as well as Jordan Addison returning punts at times. Now, Addison's not going to be in there because you're not going to have a de facto starter returning punts. But I think advantage is going to go to Jalen Rager right now, where Powell and Rager, if it's close, I think it will go to Rager, just given his draft pedigree, as well as the fact that his base salary is fully guaranteed this year and probably not much of a trade market. But I do think that Thayer Thomas, he's my guy, man. I'm going down with the ship. I think eventually he will take the punt return job, and I think that he'll be dynamite doing that, as well as being a situational slot receiver for the Vikings. But that's it. Let's take a look at some of the Vikings camp competitions and who has the advantages. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Won't support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.